Hello, I'm Joanne Sweeney. Our project managers are very nervous about giving bad news. I heard this recently in a conversation with a project planner in the UK civil service. He asked, how can I help our project managers? For me, I thought about it, how can he help them? And then I realized it's by changing their perspectives. They see communications as a one-way flow of information between them and their stakeholders, and they've just got to push the information out. They're afraid of negative reactions if they share things people don't want to hear, and they're making the decision about what people do and don't want to hear, and they're afraid, so they bury the bad news hoping it will go away. Maybe it will turn into good news over time, or maybe they'll get to change jobs and someone else will have to deal with the problems when the fat hits the fire. It'll be someone else's problem. The thing is, they're seeing it from their own perspectives, from their mentality, their viewpoint, and none of it helps their stakeholders, and it also doesn't help their organization. What's worse, when we say nothing to our stakeholders, they fill the vacuum with the grapevine. They want to know, they want to hear, and if we don't tell them, they'll go to other places, and what they'll hear will be biased, it will be skewed, it will be inaccurate, but it's all they have to base decisions and behavior on, and it's not the solution. The solution is to change their mindsets so that they see communications as a two-way, founded on back and forth conversations between them and their stakeholders. How do we develop such relationships? It starts with our mindset. We want to be transparent, we want to be open, we want to build trust, credibility, but we've got to trust them, not just them trusting us. We've got to trust them that if we are honest and open with them, then they will respond in a similar way. So how do we develop such relationships with stakeholders? It's by interacting from the beginning of our project, asking questions, listening to responses, clarifying that we understand them, that we understand what they mean as well as what they say, allowing them to question us, being willing to explain, being willing to adapt. Also by understanding what information our stakeholders want to receive, what they need to know to do their jobs, what they need to know to serve customers, to serve other people in the organisation, and then providing that information. So it's not just about us and our project and what we're doing, it's all about them. It's from their perspective. And it includes answering the 5 W's, the journalism term that I talk about again and again. What's happening, who's impacted, when is it happening, why is it happening, where is it happening, and how is it happening? The fundamentals that people really need and want to know. My experience of working in lots and lots of different projects, programs, campaigns is that most people are not opposed to change. Change happens all the time in their lives, day in, day out. It's just that they don't like having change imposed on them. They want to say and they want to be involved. When they have opportunities to shape what's happening, they'll feel less like victims, they'll be more likely to respond positively rather than negatively, they'll have a sense of ownership, they'll be more willing to make allowances for stuff that's not great. Plus, they'll probably have great ideas for how to resolve problems. They know already that change involves pain for them, pain for people they care about, that they'll probably have to give up stuff that's easy. They'll have to take on new challenges that stretch them. They just need convincing that making these concessions is worth doing. It's worth the pain, it's worth the aggravation for them, for their colleagues, for their customers. We can stand in front of them as the project managers pulling hard on a rope. We can get behind them and push really hard with all our might. It's just much better if we stand alongside, linking arms, walking forward together, going together on the journey, the change journey. This includes explaining little and often, what's happening in our marketplace and with customers, the consequences of doing nothing and the consequences if we change. And we'll be seeing the difference in their attitudes. Our own relationship with stakeholders will become enjoyable, fun.